What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Avantasia. Yes, indeed. Avantasia Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bobbidi-bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Thomas Roaring. And Thomas wanted to see me react to this song by Avantasia called Dying for an Angel. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Nuclear Blast Records, okay? And the video has 13.4 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Avantasia, Dying for an Angel, featuring Scorpions, Klaus Meine. Okay, that's... I remember. I think that's the lead vocalist. Is he the lead vocalist or lead guitarist? No, he's the vocalist. Vocalist, yeah. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Reach out.
It's so funny that this song is the song I'm reacting to just after the song I just reacted to, because there's a parallel that I'm going to bring up here. I talked at length about this in the reaction I just did, and I get to talk about it again at length. And I love repeating myself. Okay. They did something pretty cool and they pulled it off. Okay. They made the chorus completely stand apart from the rest of the song, but not in a way that makes it sound like it doesn't belong. It still belongs. It still fits. It still sounds like it's part of the song. Not easy to do. Changing with the modulation, changing the approach, how they're singing, how they're playing bigger, a shift in dynamics, doing everything they could to make the chorus stand out from the pack, okay? And the thing is, they did it in a way that they succeeded. They absolutely succeeded, but it didn't go so far. Like, they didn't change tempo. They didn't change time signature, along with everything else they changed to make it sound like a completely different song. They didn't do that. I've heard bands do that before in the past, and then they wonder, why did our song fail? Probably because your song wasn't conducive. It didn't link all the pieces of the puzzle together. They did that with this. Yes, it stands apart. Yes, it's clearly the chorus. There's no denying that is absolutely the chorus. You know, you can't get it mixed up with anything else in the song. But at the same time, it still sounds like it fits. It still sounds like it belongs. So they did it well. They did it very well. And I like the blend that's happening within the vocals to the instrumentation. So that's where Illuminate kind of went a little off the rails. They were playing around with vocal layering and adding so many vocal layers. They added seriously 16 vocal layers. And as a result, it ended up pushing everything else in the mix down. The vocals became the dominant force of the chorus, as opposed to being part of the blend. This is part of the blend. These guys nailed it. These guys got it right. 100%. So kudos to them. The addition of Klaus, I'm not mad at it. I don't see the necessity for it. I don't think it's needed. I think they could have had the lead vocalist do all the parts himself, and I think it would have sounded just fine. But it's a nice touch. It's a nice addition. Anytime you can take a member from a legendary band like Scorpions, for example, and have the lead vocalist join your group for one song like this, it automatically adds, I guess the best way to put it is it automatic. I don't want to say validity, but it definitely adds clout to not just the song, but to your band as a whole. You know what I mean? Just don't go, and cashing in on oh, well, we have a song that we recorded with the lead singer of the Scorpions. Okay, good for you. You don't plan on riding that train for too long. That's just, if that becomes your only claim to fame, that could be detrimental. If that's all you've got, if that's the only thing that you've got to show any type of validity to your band, that could be a problem. So it's cool that he joined. I don't know how they made that happen, but they did. They were able to make it work out. Their people got in touch with his people, and they were able to make some magic happen. So good for them. Let's keep going here. chorus guitar solo. One and here. Yep. Strong ending. I like that ending. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ending on 4. I like that. No taper off. No, sustained chord. Oh God, no linear fade. Thank God. Just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's it. Strong ending. Strong ending. Not a lot to talk about, but a couple of points I want to make. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Avantasia with Dying for an Angel. This was a request from Thomas Roaring. Okay. Not a lot to talk about, and I pretty much covered everything I wanted to say during the course of the reaction. So this is probably going to be a pretty short review, so don't get too comfortable, folks. Let's start with the score, and we'll go from there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.2. Yep, 7.2. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.2. What does that mean? Well, a 7.2 would translate to a really good skill rating because overall, I think this was a really good song. It would get 4 out of 5 stars and a B letter grade. That's B as in boy. So there you go, a 7.2, really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. It's kind of funny that I did the song I did just before this reaction. I did a reaction to a song by Illumishade, who did something that these guys did, but I personally think they did it a little bit better. And I talked at length about this during the course of the reaction. The ability to take the chorus and find ways to make it stand out amongst all the rest of the parts of the song, but not so much that it doesn't feel like or sound like it's part of the song anymore. They were able to do things like change their approach, how they were playing them, not what they were playing, but how they were playing it. Same thing with the vocal approach, getting a little bigger, a little fuller. And then the modulation that they threw in there to boot. It made the chorus stand out on its own, which is a good thing because, the chorus should be what everybody remembers. You want the chorus to be the thing that everybody goes, oh yeah, I know that. I've heard that before. That you want that to be the signature. You know what I mean? So they did a fine job of it. And I think they did better than Illumishade did because Illumishade tried to overdo it and do too much. with all the vocal layering that they did. They didn't do that. They had a very nice mix, a very nice blend. If I'm being honest, that chorus, how they did the chorus, what they did with the chorus, it's the whole reason we're up in the 7s. Everything else in the song, don't get me wrong, everything else in the song sounded good, but I don't feel comfortable saying really good. Like everything else in the song, the main riff, the verses, even with the vocal split between the two vocalists, even with that, I don't feel like I would call any of that really good. It was pretty good. Like without that chorus, I would have this song honestly in the very high 6s, like 6.8, 6.9. But because they did do what they did with the chorus and how well they did it, that's what put it up into the 7s. Everything else was solid. Like I had absolutely no complaint about anything that anybody did. There were a few times where it did get a little, I don't want to say predictable, but it did get a little cliche. The riffs that they were coming up with, they were hitting all the popular riffs from the late 80s. But at the same time, though, it still worked. It still sounded good. So I don't have any complaints about it. I'm just not going to sit there and go, I'm impressed by it because I've heard it before. not the song, but I've heard the riffs before. It does sound a little late 80-ish, early 90s-ish. It does sound a little dated, but here's the thing. Despite the fact that it does sound a little dated, it still sounds clean. It still sounds smooth. It still sounds good. So, may not be the biggest fan of it, but there's no doubt that they pulled it off well. So, yeah, 7.2. I feel good about that score, and I'm gonna end out with this. Was it cool having the lead vocalist from the Scorpions in this song? Yes, it was. Okay, it was a nice touch. It was fun. Everybody had a good time with it, I'm sure. He did have his spots like in the verses where they had the clear division between the two, and you know the lead vocalist of the band had his 2 lines, and then they had Klaus come in and do his 2 lines, and then in the chorus they harmonized, and that's nice. You know, it's not like they had him come in as a guest to do 1 verse and then that was it. You know, I've seen bands do that before. You know, set the name of the band featuring this artist. You know, I'm not saying this is happening, but let's just say featuring Rob Halford from Judas Priest. And he literally comes in, Rob Halford would come in and literally do a verse. 1 verse, and that is it. Why bother at that point? You know, it almost feels like it's a waste. But in this case, that was not happening. He was Klaus was very prominent through the entire song. You know, harmonizing on the choruses, having half of each verse. You know, I mean, he was definitely a contributing factor. So it's cool. All right, it's nice. It's fun. It's a good time had by all. Did it really have that much impact on the score? If I'm being 100% honest, no, not really. They could have had just the lead vocalist do the entire song by himself, and I think I would have been just as fine with it. There is something to be said, you know, from a clout standpoint of, you know, being able to say that they had Klaus from Scorpions be a part of the song. And that's cool. It will take you a little further, but it will only take you so far, you know? Don't rely on that, you know, because if you do rely on that, your journey is going to be very short. So, no, but I thought it was a nice addition, but it had absolutely no impact on the score whatsoever. Just to let everybody know. So yeah, 7.2. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.2, which is a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.